Today we are going to look back at my sneaker resale predictions for January to see whether or not I was on the money or off the mark. It's kind of cool content, well, you can be the judge of that, but it's kind of cool in a way because we get to have a laugh at my mistakes and potentially celebrate my wins, but it's also a good way to get a look at the market. And so without any further ado, let us get into the first prediction. Now the first sneaker I forecast were the Jound Babesters. They're going for something crazy like 310 retail. I could be wrong about that. I can see these reselling for about $550. Funnily enough, I even managed to get the retail price wrong when I made the video. And so that doesn't really give us much hope for the prediction. Looking at StockX, the last sale for this sneaker was $303 and the highest bid $310. So automatically, right off the rip, that is an L. Next up was the black and olive Air Jordan 7s. It's an SE special edition, not that that's going to save these. Black and olive colorway. These you can just wait to go on sale. These will sit. These are going nowhere. I said these would be bricks, and I mean that simply with reference to resale. It is actually a nice looking sneaker, and if you look at StockX, these are selling for under retail. This is a pretty easy prediction to make, to be honest, so I'm not going to get too full of myself because of it, but it is nonetheless a successful prediction. We'll take it. Next up with the Jordan 9 olive with the dark Concord touch. I said in the prediction that I thought these would sit, and they have indeed done just that. The last sale was actually $207, which means whoever sold them broke even and more or less got their money back. But given the highest bid is $141, this is a sneaker that is outlet bound at the best. So another successful prediction, albeit a pretty easy one to call. Next up, the Adobe SB. I can see these reselling for a little bit over the retail, maybe like 120, 140 pounds. I said I could see these reselling for a little over the retail price, 120, 140 pounds. Which is about 150, 160 US dollars. And checking the last sale, 147. So this was another successful prediction. But again, I'm not going to get too confident because anyone could have predicted that, I would have thought. Next up, the Air Jordan 1 High True Blue. In all honesty, I think these are going to sit. I don't see these reselling at all. This is a sneaker that I said would brick, and that seems to be the case. These are, at least in the UK, still widely available in stores and still sitting online. I'm not sure about over there in the US, but the last sale on StockX is $188, meaning whoever sold these pretty much lost money given the retail is $180 and the highest bid $157. So this is not a sneaker that is in hot demand, and thus another successful prediction. Next up, the Jordan 5 Dunk from Mars, or something like that. Mars Dunk from Mars, something like that. I said that these would sit in women's sizes and they might resell for a little bit over retail in the higher sizes. Might resell for a little bit over retail in the higher sizes, but I can see these sitting in women's sizes. And that seems to be bearing out in the data, although even in the higher sizes, these have been cinder blocks. If I look at the larger size, a 12 women's, which roughly equates to like a 9.5 men's UK, or 10.5 US. Last sale $230, which means whoever sold them maybe made like 10 bucks. So this was another pretty accurate prediction. Next up, we have the Adifoam Superstar, which I said would probably resell for a little bit over retail. I can see these selling out and also selling for a little bit over retail on the resale market. The retail US was 110 and these are currently selling for 156, meaning that whoever's selling these for that kind of a price is making a little bit over the retail. So I would say that this is once again a pretty accurate prediction. Next up, the Jordan 1 Low Year of the Rabbits, 5,000 pairs, Asia exclusive release. I actually missed the mark on this. I said that these would resell for around $650. I would not be surprised if these fetched north of $500 or even 500 pounds, maybe 600 to 650 US dollar resell on these. But they're actually reselling for more like $800 plus. There was actually a moment with this shoe before they even released where the prices on GOAT were really low. I nearly picked the pair up for $600 or about 500 odd pounds like a week or two before they dropped, and I hesitated and missed the boat with them, and now prices have blown up and will continue to stay high, unfortunately. But This was indeed an L prediction, and so I will firm it. Next prediction was for the Jordan 2 High Craft. Resale wise, I think they are going to resell for retail and just over. But I said that this sneaker would resell for retail a little bit over in the higher sizes, given it's a women's release. And that seems to, again, be playing out in the data, although you could argue they're selling for a little under retail if you take into account sellers' fees. So the last sale was $200 on StockX. They were retailing for $175, meaning whoever sold that pair is basically getting their money back. So I think you could consider this another pretty solid prediction. Next up with the Union 1 Low KOs. Now there's two pairs. These actually come out this week, I think, maybe on the 4th of February. These reselling for a little bit over retail, maybe like $50 or $100 over retail. Maybe $50 to $100 over the retail. And whilst we haven't yet seen the release, I still think that's going to be the case. $50 to $100 over retail, so that's about $250. We can maybe revisit this, but I think that's gonna play out. The leather pair, I would say maybe like $150 to $200 over the retail, but I could be wrong on that. Last up, we have the Air Jordan 2 Low Responsibility. I said that these would brick and potentially even go on sale. I also think that these are going to brick and potentially go on sale down the road, given the high retail price and given the fact that they're not overly spectacular. And this was a miss. This one was definitely a clanger off the rim. These are actually selling for, well, to be fair, they're selling for around retail after fees. The last sale in a women's 12 is $250. The retail was $225, meaning whoever sold this pair basically got their money back. So whilst it was a brick of a prediction from me, it wasn't a complete airball, but I definitely fumbled when it came to suggesting these might go on sale. They obviously are not going on sale. They are commanding about their retail price in the aftermarket. And so there we have it. I think what we can safely conclude from this video is that my ability to forecast the obvious is pretty much bang on point, and my ability to predict the not so obvious is shaky at best. I took a couple of L's, but hey, that's to be expected. Let me know what you guys thought of this month's past releases. And listen, have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.